Welcome to Larisa Lili Temperance. Today we're doing the twin flame energy update. Welcome to the June edition. I am on vacation if you guys haven't seen any of my other videos. And I just have this gorgeous Airbnb where I am using the background for, and it's so grounding and beautiful here. So we're gonna get into it with the channel messages. You know, it's interesting because I had channel messages the other day and then it switched on me a little bit today after the solar eclipse we had. So I kind of waited on the energy, but I'm glad I did it that way because I feel like a sense of shift. So originally the energy was all over the place in the sense of so much in the mind space, and then all of a sudden it switched to kind of strong masculine energy for both divine feminine and divine masculine, where the souls are in a state of logic and just making really big decisions and just closing out cycles. It's almost like it was like a switch. So you guys know I always have channel messages, and the channel messages today I have was one shifting timelines, which is 555. So if you guys have been seeing 555, these are the implications of towers and change. And so however that shows up in your life, it could just be as simple as, you know, some of us can experience mood swings, of not understand why, and it's like a switch of our behavior, and that could be part of the tower moment. For others of you, it can be an actual event happening that kind of either reminded us of an old pattern or something that we just was like, I thought I closed this door, I thought or it doesn't align with me, or oh my God, this made me feel a certain way I haven't felt in a long time, and I don't want this to happen again. And so it's a lot of those big shifts happening. So big changes from within their feminine energy. And this is for both masculine and feminine. I'm really feeling strongly masculine as well, but I feel we're embodying masculine energy right now, both feminines. And so I did put it here because what I feel also is a sense of not feeling each other. Like it's almost like you both are in this hermit energy, and so it's like a sense of not feeling each other, not knowing where each other are at energetically, not even feeling them in the 5D probably, or just it's almost like it had to be that way because, for example, for me, what I'm experiencing is just pure silence, and I'm actually okay with that, you know, because I really feel that the energy I got the second round was the grounding, and I think the grounding is for the clarity. So it's intentional, but finding the courage to release. So in the space is finding courage to release, but it isn't without a feat. And I feel that's more strong masculine energy. It's a lot without a feat. It's not going to be without a feat, but also you feminines know what you're experiencing. I'm experiencing some back and forth energy with change and ego. Eclipse activation energy taking place. So that is definitely taking place since the lunar eclipse. Being guided to trust their intuition. Freeing and purging relationships. So I feel relationships is a big one, and me in my love reads, this has been actually really big too. Also in my general reads for June, relationships, this eclipse was a lot about relationships and what we were purging out, and I feel a lot of revelations, and there is a lot of just closing. It's almost like, again, that switch. So finally being able to look ahead, which is base chakra, and I feel there is a healing in the base chakra where both twins are going to experience some, and it's like Hierophant energy, restabilizing how it shows up in the physical, because you're both more in a spiritual space or in a space of just the self. making solid changes, and some in only doses that can be handled. And so there are going to be those energies where we're not going to be able to handle big changes very quickly. And so to implement and to allow the change, we still have to handle them, but allow yourself to handle them in doses. They don't all have to happen at once. And so this is where the patience always comes in with the journey, the spiritual journey of the twin flames, right? This is a journey of patience. If anything, this journey teaches you a lot of patience, compassion to yourself. This is how you learn unconditional love, that there is no time, right? So solid changes, so solid changes, and some only can be truly handled in doses. Most DMs will have come to a pure release of lower energy relationships, allowing them to feel a sense of clarity from the dead weight. And wow, this was a biggie. So there are a lot of divine masculines who are going to definitely release a lot of those lower vibe energies, those lower energies that have been keeping them in repeating patterns. And it's what that hermit energy a few months back has served them. So it's the cycle where they're still going to be clearing a lot of that stuff, I feel. And a lot of them have, but some of it would be attachments to those who they've been feeling really loyal to, I feel. And those are always the hardest ones to let go, I have to say, because it's happened to me. So from September and on, a sense of clarity. And I do feel that there will be like a sense of clarity coming September. And after the activation, I feel that's coming for Leo season. I feel that the twins, feminines and masculines will have a sense of clarity in September. It's almost like a fresh energy. It's like that energy when like the new year starts and you're like ready to go back out and do things. This is the energy, and it's also the fact that it's September. It's almost the energy too of like putting time in setting time and in the space, right? Where like, okay, I said I was going to close this year. And so in that sense, there is twins setting time, right? Where, it's not going further than 2021, right? We're not doing this further than 2021. So there's a lot of that, which is what I mean by time. Will come from within, introducing a period of observation and reconnecting. So this is in September. It's like an introduction. It's a period of observation and reconnecting within the feminine energy. And I do feel that's going to be within the feminine energy because a lot of the driving forces will be through, and the changes will be through the heart space. High sexual desires for the feminine. And so this is from the masculine. So high sexual desires with the feminine energy, feeling a level of alignment with spiritual union, and for some 3D union. So I do feel there will be a lot of physical unions with the twins. And I feel it's like, for some of you, it's going to be a different activation and timeline for the connection, where some of you will experience your twin and it may be more of a friendship at that moment, or for some of you it will be a connection that where you guys will experience and reconnect, and we'll have some sacral activation as well, where you'll experience your twin in a sexual manner, which allows the connection to take the next step, because I always feel sacral energy is such an activation energy. And when twins usually come back for that, when in awareness, of course, when the twins usually come back to that sexual energy, it's to activate your own soul, right? It's not, I think there's that confusion all the time about the sexual energy, which is linked to the obsession. Now, the obsession of the twin, right, always, it's hard because it is a painful energy, right? When you leave your twin, or you go into separation, it is a painful energy, and we feel it in the sacral, we feel it in a lot of our chakras, but it's an important energy because it's supposed to stir the pain. It's supposed to stir the pain to bring the attention back to you. Now, it's 3D conditioning that keeps you stuck in that sacral energy of you needing your twin. And that is the biggest challenge for every feminine specifically, to get out of, because most feminines allow the 3D conditioning to take over of what a normal relationship here is. Twin flame connections are not normal. They're spiritual connections, you guys. So it's not, you can't apply a 3D template, a romantic 3D template to a twin flame. That's how you know you're in a twin flame journey. Yes, you're gonna feel the utmost love for your twin, but you can't get stuck there because this is a spiritual journey. I think people tend to forget or eliminate or think that they're actually experiencing a spiritual journey, but yet because this has to be the love of my life, this is the love. No, that's 3D template, you guys. And some of you may not like that I say that, but you know what, it is, because the love that you feel is the love of source, not just your twin. Of course you're gonna love your twin because it's the closest love to source. Like, you're supposed to love source, you're supposed to love the universe. And so that is what it's bringing to your attention. This is why you experience all these purges compared to any other relationship. This is why you experience like your life is falling apart when you meet this one person, in terms of feeling very devastated. Now, also don't confuse it with falling out of love with someone or losing a connection, one of those 3Ds where, yes, they can be, those karmic cycles are really hard to turn away from, or those cycles of relationships that give us the biggest lessons. And you know the difference. For me, I knew I met my twin because I was in a relationship for 11 years. And when I met my twin, at that point, I was single. I believe it was 5 years after that relationship or something like that, 6 years. But my twin and I have similar stories when it comes to our past. And I knew it's not the same connection. It's like I was in a place at that point, 5 or 6 years single. I was in a space of, open to companionship, looking for a person to really settle my life with. At that point, I had healed a lot. I was, pretty good, but there was still something I feel that needed. And I was also in a lot of grieving. So a lot of my spiritual awakening, usually you'll know your soul alignment starts way before your twin. You start preparing for your twin, if that's part of the journey. And that's what I realized. The preparation for my twin was also starting it. And actually, I've come to recognition probably 2 years before I even met my twin. But that year, literally a couple of months before meeting my twin, it was very strong with all the signs. And I didn't come to understand that till probably months later after I met my twin. And it's like, oh my God. And I didn't know anything about twin flame journey. If you guys see my description, I have a background of ancestors, obviously in the spiritual realm, and just in my lineage. So this was always going to be part of my journey, my destiny, to come to this space, and really activated even more after my father passed away in 2016. So all of that were initiation processes that were preparing me for this work and where I'm at right now in terms of sharing this story, and then just helping the collective consciousness increase in the vibration of love, because it needs to come from a place of peace and no harsh energies. That's why you can't be mad at your twin. You have to connect with the spiritual portion of this relationship and this connection. And it's actually that because it's the purest love, and yes, it hurts. I'm not going to say I didn't experience that. I did experience, and occasionally I do experience, because my twin and I are in separation. So I have those moments where I do feel the pain of the separation. And it does hurt. So, all right. So let's see. you know why it's so sensitive to me? Because, you know, you realize the journey, and you realize how much you come far and cleansed your life and made big changes, and you value someone, you know, the level of appreciation you have for them. Excuse me. So yeah, the level of appreciation you'll have for your twin, once you come to that space of, I want to say neutral, and you realize, like, just being grateful. And I am so grateful, so grateful. Whew. Oh my goodness. All right, so then I had the shift, you guys, and so then hermit energy came up, right? Reviving. So hermit energy reviving and talking action towards change, grounding, and finding grace is necessary. And I really think this is why I'm getting so teary, because the grace is necessary here. The grounding is necessary here. And this is how you bring that attention back to you. You start to change the perspective and the timeline of your journey with your twin. And this just elevates you. This elevates how you connect with other people, and really what this journey means in terms of sharing unconditional love to this planet, to this world, to the collective, and just obviously coming from a place of peace, very calm, you know. So the other thing is the Hierophant I did put here as well. So contemplation, state of old conventional ways. Yes, there is a lot of contemplation of old conventional ways, and it's a true reevaluation. So now I feel both twins, both are standing strong in masculine energies for point 0. And I always talk about this point 0 because I think it's really important. It's a place of innocence, which is it's that neutral state. And so there's a place of innocence back to it, where when you have this sense of purity and innocence is because you've actually healed. And so all that stuff in the past, even what your twin has done, it's not supposed to hold you back, and it's not supposed to hurt you. It's not supposed to stay in pain. You're supposed to elevate that energy and reach a healing place. And if your twin never hurts you, when your twin loves you, when this is a spiritual connection, it shouldn't feel like pain, in the sense of it shouldn't be like a karmic cycle or anything to that nature. Despite of the things that my twin has done to me, and you know, they weren't so pretty, but you know what, I don't really hold that against him. I think it was a reflection, it was the mirroring that was happening, where there was a lot about his lack of self-love to himself, because it wasn't that I didn't love him, and I think he knew that it was a form of rejecting the purity of, you know, what he was receiving, and he didn't know how to receive it, and that's okay. You know, it's his journey, and so whatever attachments he had, whatever he interpreted as love, that he probably kept having, you know, lingering around or attached to or still in his energy, was what was holding him back. And so I always pray for him, and I always hope that he comes to a place of healing, because that's where we all want to be, and that he finds a space where he actually loves himself and finds the value of his life and how important it is, because, you know, we all matter. So that was hard to say for me. So the last piece I wanted to say was becoming comfortable with the unknown and the uncertainty. Twins almost feel disconnected. You know, it's so crazy how in this I have not felt connected to my twin, and right now I'm feeling extremely connected. Ooh, so yes, the emotions are extremely real, feminines. You guys have not, my readings have not heard me cry. So these transitions are actually taking place. So becoming comfortable with the unknown and the uncertainty. Twins almost feel disconnected. And in this time, life, like if you can't feel them. And there was that period that I was feeling like you can't feel the masculine or the feminine. Like you guys couldn't feel each other. But what's crazy is in this moment, I guess I'm just so much in the energy. I'm feeling them strongly. So let's get into the read, guys. So I'm gonna try to make this as quick because I kind of have to start my day too. And I actually took a day off today from work because I'm actually on vacation, but I'm still working with my other job, and so I took today off. So I'm gonna kind of enjoy my day today. So, I needed that fresh air. This is strong. This energy right now is extremely, and we are, like I said, we just had the solar eclipse, so I feel it very, very. I love that what just fell out was this is the divine feminine. This is the Empress energy, and I just feel this is really just a message for me. So thank you, Spirit. Okay, so I didn't say what I wanted, but I know what they say. So I want to see what the major arcana shift is for the masculine, and I'll pull one for the feminines right now because of these big changes, Spirit. So what is some energy? Geez. I'm going to put this back, give it another shuffle. That was the star that wanted to pop out. So Spirit, what is the major arcana shift for the masculines, please? These cards are always hard to come out. The fact that they're flying out today shows the energy that they want to speak. All right, what is the major arcana shift for the masculine, Spirit? Thank you. Of course, the hermit, right? And that's that energy that I was saying for the really for the twins, but I feel strongly masculines, right? Energy hermit. The hermit energy is reviving and taking action towards change, grounding and finding grace is necessary. And that's what this hermit energy is. This is the spiritual teacher. And so when you ground and you're in a place of grace, that is the teaching space of yourself. I always say, and I will always say this in my channel, because the hermit is my favorite energy. I love the hermit. This is an extremely important space for the twins. I feel just for the collective in general. Solitude is the greatest teacher, right? And here we have the spiritual teacher. Solitude will always be the greatest teacher. So there are great rewards in spending time alone. Use those moments of solitude to focus in love and ways in which you might give to those around you. Shine your light as an example for others to follow. Seek out a spiritual mentor of your own if your life feels unfulfilled right now. And so this is a space, right, to really clear away on all those aspects where, we need to, learn and bring the focus on ourselves so we can be a light and an example. This is how the twins activate and alchemize energy for the collective, right? If you understand the spiritual aspect of this journey, you're part of the alchemization. You're the transmuter of energy, depending which cycle of wave you are. I'm a second waver, so that's why hermit is extremely important to me, because usually second wavers spend a lot of time alone, and so I know I am tapping into a lot of second wavers here as well. But in general, this is where the connection is at. But I know you second wavers will understand what I'm saying. And so this is a space to just kind of spend with yourself on those areas where you feel, you feel unfulfilled, and making those drastic changes. Which is why I've also felt the Hierophant, because the Hierophant is the connection with the spiritual realm, but bringing it to the 3D, and it's about our conventional thinking. So whatever's remaining that we probably still held on to, that want drastic change in, or some level of change, is also in a place of reevaluation. So let's see for the feminine, Spirit, what is the energy major arcana shift right now for the feminines? Ooh, this energy, guys, has to be so emotional. This energy. Wow, the strength, And this is Leo energy. This is what I'm saying. This is like activation here. You have great courage and kindness. You may not realize how strong and powerful you are, but there's no problem you can't solve. The compassion you so freely give to others must also be given to yourself. Stand strong in your convictions if the right answer to tell someone is no. And what I love about this is, yes, the compassion you so freely give to others must also be given to yourself. And I feel like feminines have a hard time. Obviously, here I am, right, in a very I'm in a space where I'm actually giving myself some self-love, taking care of me. Just give me a second here. Taking care of me and really grounding my energy. This was a plan I've had for quite a few months, because I came out of, I don't know if you guys remember, if you've been watching my channel, I came out of a really, really dark space at a job that I was in for 5 years. So it was like one of the last karmic cycles I had to close out. Like, I knew it was one of the last, and it was like towards the end I probably cried every day the month of February of like how exhausted I was. And it just the denseness of the connection, and I've done so much work and so much elevation that I could no longer hold the denseness of those dark energies that were really, really terrible. So now I'm in a really, really great space, and I love the job that I'm in. But this is about really showing your own compassion. And I feel this is a space for you guys. And yeah, the cycle, the world for both twins, mutual energy. I feel this is the world, successful completion, right? There is a time of incredible accomplishment. You're justified in feeling joy, a sense of completion and pride in the amazing job you've done. You've been blessed with many spiritual insights. Soon you'll begin a new journey, but for now, take time to bask in the happiness of your dreams coming true. So that is definitely an important energy. So I'm just gonna pull some side-by-side mirror energy real quick. I don't want to go too in depth for the connection. Oh my God, I swear. I feel this is mutual right here. So here we got the Hermit again and the Sun, right? And so again, activation energy during Leo season, you guys. Come September, it will be an alleviating energy. I'm going to leave this here because I do feel this is a mutual energy here. Spirit, give me an energy for the masculines, please. Thank you. And one for the feminines. Give me an energy for the feminines. Wow. See, masculines, another 9. And you guys know how I feel about the 9s. This is the 9 of Cups. And this is about them finding their own fulfillment, filling their own cups. And it's like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's the healthy boundaries, right? And so there are things within the masculine that they need to eliminate of what doesn't emotionally fulfill them. I think they've been holding on to lingering energies. For some of them, these lingering exes that they just, it's time. It's holding them in a space. It's those lower relationships, right? Those lower relationships that have them having repeated patterns, reminding them of who they were and not allowing them to evolve or grow to this next version of themselves that's more fulfilled, more happy, and more in a place of unconditional love to themselves. Because the 9 of Cups, you're more emotionally fulfilled. You have to be. With the 9, you have to reach a point of being very emotionally fulfilled, but which is why masculines are strong in a 9. You know, this is a lot about spending time alone. And then the feminines got the 6 of Swords, which is the moving on. And I think, again, this is a harmonization for you. So feminines are always in a state of harmonization. I feel like you guys, you know, obviously are more in awareness of the connection. And so harmonizing your energy is always going to be a thing, only because this is a constant balance. And a lot of it has to come from courage, because a lot of our energy tends to feel a sense of abandonment, and you have to, if anything, what the masculine is providing to you, which is why you feel such strong masculine, which is why I'm sure you guys can see the Empress right there, which I'm going to talk about in a few. But this is the masculine and providing in this silence too, in this Hermit energy, providing that strength, that strong masculine Leo energy to you to be able to shift this timeline within yourself as well, and just harmonize your energy. It's a constant balance between the masculine and feminine energy here. So we have, I love it. Look at this, you guys. Both of you standing in masculine energy, I feel, but this is divine masculine, right? Feeling the love. I also feel Two of Cups, but I just feel also the journey. The twins are both in strong masculine energy, which places you both in this energy of self-love, the mirroring, and the one. I always like to express the Ace of Cups, this cup of water, because, you know, to understand the Ace of Cups is to understand the water aspect of your emotions. And so it being a one is a gift of fresh emotions, right? A gift from the universe, a gift from source, whatever you're aligned for, but a gift of fresh emotions. And it's that innocence that I was saying, where is that I put? Yes, the 0. So right before the one is the Fool, and it's that activation energy to reach a freshness and innocence. And when the water is fresh and clear, that is when you're able to provide and give the love, right? It's an healing. And I love all the green, right? Because it's just healing. This is where you come more to your senses and to yourself, and the alignment between the masculine and feminine energy within you, and so does your masculine, right? But if the water was clouded, right, that would, then everyone drinking from the water would also become clouded. And so this is why it's important to reach that neutrality of our relationships, and, you know, really heal our energy and our hearts and our emotions and our minds, to come from a place of unconditional love, because all this is truly an energy of unconditional love. So I think it's beautiful, and masculines are definitely feeling it, and I feel like they are coming back to the heart space. So I want to pull from here real quick. Spirit, what is the energy for the masculines right now? What are the energies for the masculines? And the energy for the masculines. I mean, masculine is bottom of the deck for the masculines right now is raising that vibration, right? They're elevating their divine timing. I mean, it's a process, the devotion. You're going to love what I just felt. So this Nine of Cups, twin flame, union, and fear. This is union, right? Finding the connection. This is coming to terms of the journey, really connecting with their other twin, but there's fear involved, right? Because it's like there is a release, there's a lot of uncertainty to who they're becoming, and that's actually really normal. But that's why the self needs to spend time alone. It's a lot of 9, again, the Hermit. You know, this is about, again, use the moment of solitude to focus on love in ways in which you might give to those around you. Shine your light as an example for others to allow. Seek out a spiritual mentor of your own if your life feels unfulfilled right now. And this fear is where the unfulfillment is. And so this has a lot to do with the releasing, right? The unfulfilled, right? The fact that we even have fulfillment of wishes. They're needing to settle where they're unfulfilled. It has a lot to do with reconnecting with themselves, the journey, coming into alignment with their masculine and feminine energies. So mainly their feminine, right? Because they're out of balance with their feminine, but also healing the distorted masculine, which is the out of balance of the feminine energies, which has everything to do with emotions, right? So in this Hermit energy, it has to do with their emotions and facing the connection, facing activation of unconditional love, because these two energies, I mean, twin flame, this is unconditional love here, right? And this is about divine timing and raising that vibration. This is their own vibration to shift, because nothing's going to change in their life if they don't shift. So, Holy Spirit, give me more of this energy moving on for the feminines. More for the feminines. Oh, I'm not even going to stop right there because I knew it. So, feminines, action and cycles. And this is the moving on, right? Harmonizing and closing out, the strength and courage to close out these cycles, finalizing. This is, again, action is a very masculine and feminine, which is why we have the 4. So both twins are experiencing masculine and feminine energy, but through emotions. I feel there's a lot of emotions, and so there's a lot of healing that is taking place through emotions. But feminines, this is a closing cycle, so you know the deal. I really feel this is such a like, we know the deal, feminines, right? This energy here is we know the deal. But I just love the difference between it, because like the masculines are just, this is good experience. This is like coming to the heart space more, right? And then here we have, but you're not that far, right? Because here we have divine feminine and the soulmate. And I think it's just because obviously there's no other twin flame card here, but this is both energies in that space of union within self, the spiritual journey. There is an understanding here of the connection. So I want to pull real quick just some blockages right now that is being experienced by both. So Spirit, what are the blockages for the masculines right now? What is the untold blockage here? Time and intimacy. So what I'm feeling with this time is weight, cycles, and infinity, and intimacy is closeness, sexuality, seclusion. And this is a time alone. So this is finding time. Again, they had divine timing in the bottle, raising vibration. So this is learning intimacy, right? Their relationship. So this has to do with fulfillment. And I love it. Getting more in touch with their heart space, relationships, their emotions, and what they consider to be real intimacy. Real connection, real authentic relationship, friendships. So this is a lot about that. Wow, and only you in the bottom. So masculines also are, obviously sexual energy, which I did point out in the channel messages, is an activation here. So again, masculines are always going to be activated through the sexual energy as well. So Spirit, what is a blockage or guidance here for the feminine? What about for the divine feminines? Despair and epiphany. So we have falling apart, sinking, hopeless, realization, understanding, awakenings. And this is again, so this is why feminines are having the inner strength, right? The courage. And so this is not, falling into this sinking energy or this hopeless energy, always knowing that confidence. That's what I'm saying. Feminines usually feel that sense of abandonment all the time. And that's where you guys, feminists, normally fall into. It's the hardest, I think it's the most difficult part of the journey, is to not feel abandoned, because it's the obsession and the void, needing your masculine, that's abandonment. If you know you're in your spiritual connection, then you understand your masculine is always with you spiritually all the time. And so it should come to a point in your journey that you should be neutral and you should be okay. And this is what causes the despair. But there has to be a more inner understanding, right, with this epiphany, right? Realization, understanding, awakenings. And this is what Spirit wants you to encounter. Realization, understanding. There's an understanding that needs to be increased here for movement to happen. If you know that you're already in union, spiritual union with your person, then you're aligning yourself. This elevation happens within you, that you are already aligning. And so it's also a time to close that section, take action, right? That understanding to take action to close the cycle of the void, the despair, or anything that's giving you that sense of feeling lack, because that is how you guys get into this mutual energy of the fresh love, right? The unclouding of your emotions has to come from self-realization. So I think that's really beautiful. And I want to point out the bottom of that. Yeah, look at this, feminines. Unspoken and trapped. So regrets, lost words, disappointments, stuck, tied down, captive, trapped. So there's things you're not talking. This is where the courage needs to be. And maybe some of you feel like there are a lot of unspoken things with some of your masculines, depending on where you are in your timeline, the experiences you had. But this is where the epiphanies need to happen, where you have to, the reason this entrapment sometimes happens is because there's more of self that needs to. And so what you're coming to an understanding is, one, you're not speaking up. You have to find that inner voice. You have to find that courage, right? That courage of speaking up and being comfortable with your inner voice, not holding back, right? And that's why masculine energy is also very strong here, because this is owning up that masculine energy where you're more, instead of being in the emotions as well in terms of the way you speak, you come into more of a logical perspective of how you approach things, how you approach communication. And I feel that is what's needed here as well. So there's a shift needing to be taken with how you guys use your voice, your inner voice, how you not use it, but finding those ways. All right, Spirit, so what do we have here for the masculines? What other information for the masculines? Wow. Masculines are definitely in strong activation energy. Give me more for the divine masculines. There's strong sexual activation energy here for the masculines. And I'm not surprised. So we have the Queen of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune. And this is, again, the passion, the soul being ignited. There's a lot of fire here for the masculines. A lot of passion. There's a lot of... I feel like emotions, the cleansing of emotions will ignite that sacral energy in them, because that's where the confidence comes in. Masculines will have the confidence level from the sacral, and that is important. But this is a turning point, right? Cycles ending, and this is what's happening right now. Like I said in the channel messages, right? We have big shifts, right? Big changes where cycles and activations are going to change. We have stalemate, indecision, Two of Swords with the Lovers, and we have the King of Swords, right? So this is a logical approach, right? They're not going to make any moves. Lovers here, yes, within their connections, everyone within their connections, stalemate. They're not in a space to make any decisions, because this is a cleansing of that. This has everything to do with their outer world and those who they connect with. And so this is a space of just holding back and getting clear. Lovers is also a decision, right? It's also a decision. But lost lovers is also in this deck is the in this particular deck is the twin flame connection. And so the fact that the masculines have both twin flame energies, I mean, feminines, this is probably why I got so teary-eyed, because I can feel the burning desire, and it didn't, you know, I was not emotional about this. I was not in that space of emotions, and this energy being in it right now is very strong. And so bottom of the deck is the Three of Swords. This is the healing space. And so yes, that this stalemate, again, is very much to the Hermit, right? But it's also two. It's the High Priestess. The High Priestess is the number 2. In this case, there's a lot to be cleared up. They're not going to make any decisions at the moment until they feel okay and more confident with what they're feeling, right? Because right now the emotions are being healed with the Four of Swords. And so it's still swords, right? It's still emotions. It's still the mind that needs to come to some level of senses, which is why, again, we have all the emotions here for the mutual energy. There's a lot about emotions here, and again, strong and masculine energy. So Spirit, give me more of the feminines. What do we got for the feminines? What do we got for the feminines? Beautiful. So feminines, of course, you've got the Nine of Pentacles. And I feel like I've been getting this for you guys for a while. So this is, in this deck, it's called Independence. This is where the inner voice comes in, because you also have the Queen of Swords and the Two of Wands. And I want to point out, you guys, do you see the mirroring here? The masculines are in Two of Swords, King of Swords. Feminines are in Queen of Swords, Two of Wands. This is the marrying I'm talking about individually. So even though you guys don't feel each other, why? Because you're both in the mind right now. You're both in the disconnection is because the mind, you're both in Queen of Swords. This is the King and Queen of Swords are the widowers of the single people of the deck, right? And so both of you are in contemplation, making plans, but both are in contemplation here. You know, masculines, of course, are going to be in a more stuck energy, and feminines are more in the contemplation of making plans, having to make decisions, shift, what's next. And you guys are always on the what's next, because you've obviously been on the journey, more tapped into the journey for a while. And it's always about the independence, how you're evolving the self, which again, it's a 9, I want to point out. So you guys are again marrying. So they have the 9 of Cups. Now you're showing up with some 9 of Pentacles. Again, this is why this is such an individual journey. And then you also have the Knight of Cups. And in this deck, it's called Romantic Gesture. But I feel with this Knight of Cups has a lot to do with nurturing your space. This is about gestures to you, and again, aligning, because feminines can't always be in this swords energy. You know, there are also emotions involved. And so I feel this is the self-love. This is the nurturing you, romantic gestures to you in this 9 of Pentacles energy of how can you nurture your space, right? Bottom of the deck is the 6 of Pentacles and the 8 of Wands. Again, activation energy. In this deck, the 8 of Wands is called energy surge and communication. And this is what it is. This is a balancing act on the 3D of this energy surge, which is the eclipses, all the activations. I also want to point out it's an 8, which is also, I'm saying, Leo season, which is why I feel September will be a lighter energy. I'm going to just pull, I'm going to pull just one more layer of tarot, just real quick, just a few. Just very give me more on the masculine. What else? What other confirmation for the masculines? Masculines, 6 of Wands and High Priestess energy, again spending time alone. So there's a lot of confirmation of liberation, recognition here. 6 of Wands is recognition, also setting free the soul. The Wands are about the soul, so this is a recognition within the soul, and this is an alone time. Hermit, like I said with here with the 2 of Swords, the number 2 is the High Priestess, and here we go, High Priestess shows up. This is about setting themselves free. Also, 6 of Wands always feels like a free will energy to me, because you're wanting to set your soul and harmonize your soul, right? So now they have the Lovers as a 6, right, which is that twin flame energy. Here we have the 6 of Wands. 666 is choosing love, not fear. And remember, they had that fear card. So in this space, they have to learn how to tap into their emotions and choose love. You feminines also had the 6 with this 6 of Pentacles here. So Spirit, give me more on the feminines. What else do we have for the feminines? What other guidance and confirmation for the feminines? Oh my God, feminines, I can't. There's such mirroring energy here. Bottom of the deck is taking action again with the Chariot. You guys have the action card here, right? We have the action, but now you have the action with the Ace of Cups. Again, Ace of Cups shows up, mutual energy, but again, this is tapping into more initiatives about your self-love, how you communicate your love, how you communicate and nurture yourself, right? And this is about really finding the courage within yourself. And once found those emotions and confidence within your emotions, then you find that strong inner voice within yourself. So you also have, again, Page of Cups, 5 of Wands, the Moon, and now you get the Lovers as well. So again, the marrying, I just feel this is what's happening with the eclipse. Again, this is in harmonization of both twins here, and obviously this is extremely, the fact that I'm using different decks here, you guys. The fact that twin flame is showing up so much is because the connection definitely is reaching a lot for a lot of you, a harmonized space, and it's just the energies are here, and so you have to co-create. You have to co-create with the universe. You have to co-create with Spirit in understanding what that is. And so then you have the Page of Cups and the Five of Wands. And I think that's the strength of your voice. The Page is communication. You have to find those emotional, that strength within yourself, because again, they're giving you strength, the courage to speak up your emotions. No more of conflict within yourself and with other people who interfere, whatever that case is, because I feel there's a lot of need for that independence within you to continue to gain, and a lot of it can be interfered with these interferences that take that definitely impose. And also I want to say the Five of Wands also, like I said, you guys have both came up with Wands energy. So here they are with the Six of Wands trying to harmonize their soul, and here you are with the Five of Wands, which is the conflict within the soul. And so you have to find that internal strength within yourself. And I really feel because the moon and the Lovers is coming up, it has a lot to do with the journey, right? The inner conflict you have, and I think that has a lot to do with that narrative you speak to yourself about your emotions and where you stand. And so that narrative needs to change. How you view the innocence, right? Again, Page of Cups is innocence. That 0 for the clarity of the emotions. I want to point out, right, where I said with the Ace of Cups, before this is the Fool, and that's the innocence, is the 0 place of innocence of the connection. And so here we are with the Page of Cups, it's how you interpret the connection, how you communicate. It's your narrative within your mind and your soul of how you interpret the connection. And so this is about, again, both of you are reviving the emotions. I want to point out bottom of the deck for you feminines was the Nine of Cups, which they had, again, more mirroring. But this is about reviving these emotions and your cup no longer being clouded. So there's a lot being processed here, feminines. So, you know, this is always divine timing, always patience, but this is about your spiritual journey. And I think it's very important to understand that. Let me pull the mutual energy real quick, and then I'll close this energy. I know this reading is long, but I think it's important. And I didn't post last week, so I know I didn't. So I'm gonna definitely do this for you guys. What is the mutual energy now for the twins? What is the mutual energy for the twins? What is the mutual energy right now for the twins? The mutual. So we have finance, career, healing, family issues, let go of control issues, and heart-to-heart conversation. This is a lot of, right, solidifying, healing family issues, a lot of releasing. I think a lot too has to do with, again, the emotions. This is a lot to do with the ego, 3D world, closing out cycles. A lot of it is career, moving on. And then we have, of course, let go, control issues, heart-to-heart conversation. And I feel like it's what it's the conversation we have within ourselves, right? And so there's a need to release and surrender. This is just a surrendering aspect of the connection and what needs to take place with a lot of what's going on, right? Heart to heart, some of you have to have those conversations with other people, right? Even your masculine, closing out those cycles, releasing the ego, releasing the connection, no longer needing to be bothered by interferences, right? Which is why healing family issues, some of it has to do with your family. And some just has to do with childhood wounds that you just can't seem to let go. And then finance and career, this is always about the 3D and how we tend to, this journey tends to redefine how we look at, how we pursue our career. Some of us are not happy, so this is a lot of big changes as well. So I feel like the eclipses is also taking a lot and transitioning all to new opportunities, to new jobs, to different stages in your life that is going to take you to the next stage, right? To, you know, maybe a lot of you in the next 6 months, eclipses, you guys know it's 6 months and out. So in the next 6 months, we'll make shifts just like I did, right? I just told you guys, I was in such a toxic energy, and thank God for that Scorpio full moon we had end of April, like that death energy, like the transition just took place and I was done. And so these things will happen for a lot of you. A lot of shifts will happen, but you got to co-create with spirit, because they did give me the nudge and then I listened. I kind of ignored it a few months before that and I didn't take the steps at that time. And then when they reminded me, it came with so much pain that I just was like, I'll never do that again. Like, I'll listen the first time. And so we tend to ignore, and that's where the pain comes in. Also, you guys, pain comes in when we ignore. No more ignoring, right? This is about honesty, our own inner strength, and just surrendering to the connection here, and just allowing us to co-create with universe, because they're constantly, our angels and guides, our support system on the other side is always speaking to us. We just have to be open enough to hear it and listen, right? No ego. So I'm gonna leave it right there, feminines and masculines. I love you. I love you all. Thank you for stopping by here at Larisa Lili Temperance in my June edition here. So just please like, share, subscribe, click that bell button if you enjoy my frequency. But with that said, live always relentlessly in striving aspiration. This is the evolution of your soul, and I'm here to nurture you. Until next message. Bye.